What did it mean to my family to have our graduation photos done by Bill Hill? To my family, it meant that with all the chaos occurring in our lives at that time, that we were able to capture an irreplaceable moment that would have been lost if it were not for Bill Hill to capture that moment. My older brother Max, who was graduating, was fighting cancer and was bald at the time of the graduation photos at school. But through Bill Hill, we were able to capture a genuine photo of Max in perfect health in time for his graduation. Bill Hill is not only a great photographer, but in our case, he is also a hero for Max's graduation. Although we had such great amounts of chaos occurring around us, Bill Hill was able to recapture those lost moments of Max's graduation before it is too late.
Hi there, my name is Bill Hill. I have a business called C.W Hill Photography. I've been working in the Edmonton area for nearly 40 years. I'm really glad to have you here. I want to introduce you to some of the stories that have been involved in my photography over the years.
My name's Nancy Bullard, and this is my husband, Michael.
My name's Ian Hunt, and this is my son, Carter, my other son, Hudson, and my wife, Jacqueline.
Hi, my name is Laura Mitchell, and I hired Bill Hill to take pictures of my horse, Bonnie, and myself early this fall.
I'm Jake Turner,
I'm Max Turner.
and we got our graduation photos done by Bill Hill Photography.
Okay, we're Mark and Natalie Ross, and we hired Bill to photograph our wedding. That happened on April 28th of last year, 2012.
Hi, how you doing?
Oh, hi, Bill. It's good
again.
to see you. Yeah, good to see
Michael?
you.
See you.
Yeah.
So Nancy, I met a few years ago when she came in to get some information about restoration work. She knew about us, or about me, because of driving by Stony Plain Road and noticing our lovely metal sculpture. Nancy called one day and said, we got a very short time frame. I have a daughter coming in from England. We've got 3 days. It's winter. I've got to get a family photograph. What are we going to do?
We had hoped to have an outdoor picture. That was really, as a family, what we were hoping to be able to do. But it was a really cold day, and Michael, as he says, wasn't that worried about it. But the plan with Bill was, I think we were going to have a 1 o'clock call from him, which, you know, do we come here or do we go to the site that he had chosen?
So the challenge with this family portrait was that Fiona was coming from England, and as it turned out, she got the last plane out of London before huge storms came in, at which point she wouldn't have arrived. Also, their son was heading to China after Christmas, so again, our time frame was quite tight. And it was during winter, and we had a real cold spell and lots of snow, but actually, you know what? That made the portrait once you see it. And in fact, I did choose one of theirs to hang in the wall because I just loved the look.
Oh my gosh, there we are, right there.
Yeah, it was a real chilly day that day.
Oh my gosh, it was really a cold day. I had hoped to just have our photo taken with sweaters and not the bulky overcoats, but you didn't like that idea right from the start. You didn't think it suited the wintry scene. And
Well, we did both, so you had a choice.
We
I
did.
felt that was gave more continuity to an outdoor portrait in the winter.
We really love this photo, and I can't believe you have it on your wall right where everyone sees it.
We only put good-looking people on our wall. Well, there's an interesting story that I can tell you about Laura and her horse, Bonnie. Laura contacted me through a business group that we belong to and asked if I do an equine portrait of she and Bonnie.
Bill and I got together a couple of times, discussed what it was that we wanted to do. Bill actually came out to the barn and took a look at the scenery and different locations where he could take some pictures of both Bonnie and I. And so that was really helpful in trying to, you know, create the right image for both of us.
Laura had mentioned that Bonnie could be a little bit active. So we got to one location. She worked out quite well. But I could see as time went on, she was getting a little bit fidgety.
It was interesting because I knew that Bonnie was going to be somewhat spirited outside, as she typically is. And so for the first session, I guess, or the first shoot, it was great because I had a girlfriend with me who had ridden Bonnie in the past and was really familiar with Bonnie. So she really kind of calmed the situation down.
We moved to a different paddock, and that made matters actually worse or more challenging. I was on top of a truck taking photographs, and I could tell that Laura was having a real struggle with Bonnie.
Oh no, Bonnie's getting really spirited, what's going to happen? And Bill's trying to take the right picture and he's on top of his truck. And so finally I said, okay, Bill, you know, I think you need to come off your truck, but you know, you have to come down gently. And
that's where most photographs didn't turn out until we finally got one where Bonnie put her head up, she turned and looked way off in the distance, and Laura was standing beside and looking straight at me with a great smile. Click, we got it.
Well, I use Bill for my corporate business, and it just seemed natural to use him for our personal family business. So he takes very good care of me on my corporate side, so I thought we'd pull him in and do our family portrait, and he did a very good job for me as well there.
So Jacqueline and Ian called me to arrange a family portrait, and Ian had known me, of course, through some corporate work I'd done for them, and they wanted something because their two boys were, I believe, about 5 and 3 at the time. They wanted to get something that captured that time of their life.
We were looking to have a fall picture taken, so we just asked Bill where a good location would be, and he steered us in the right direction.
I had scouted out a couple of areas, and there's one area that I just love with a stream, rolling hills, and you get a beautiful perspective, and if we get the right time of day, the light's gorgeous. So we booked a time, and trying to corral the boys was a bit difficult because the young boys love to run around and play in the water. I think they got a bit wet that day, but that's okay. Mom and Dad allowed that to happen because everybody was having fun.
This is our first photo. Hudson's only 4 years old, so we felt it was time to get a good representation of what the family looks like.
Last year in April, we had the opportunity to photograph a wedding for Mark and Natalie. A wedding that was really fun because it had, in my mind, a Scottish theme, but it had a lot of traditions that were part of Mark's background. And just recently, we had them come in to pick up their final album.
Well, we're here to pick up our album, and we've been working with Bill for almost a year now. We've been married almost a year, and we finally have our 31-page album.
Drama changes back and forth.
Yeah, yeah, but it was just a lovely experience, and we actually had a hard time narrowing it down because we had so many pictures to pick from.
So what makes a wedding like this somewhat different and a lot of fun is because of the vibrancy of the clothing, the traditions, and certainly visually more exciting than your traditional 4, 5, or 6 suits for the men.
We wanted some different types of settings and things like that, and he was really willing to work with us. And
Kept it from being boring.
oh yeah, it was not boring. It was so fun. It was a lot of fun. Yeah, and he had some really neat ideas.
Mark and Natalie wanted to do some kind of weird stuff or funky stuff, so we actually got them playing cards at a table with some really fun looks back and forth, very, very candid. Even though we designed the images, they were kind of candid, and they really, really liked them. They just because they were different than what you might find in most people's albums. Another opportunity I had, which was just wonderful, was photographing Jake and Max.
We got our graduation photos done here at Bill Hill Photography because when Max was supposed to get his graduation photos done at school, he was fighting cancer and he was unfortunately bald at that time due to chemotherapy. And so we came to Bill Hill Photography to get those photos redone so he could really have the genuine experience of having a true grad photo of him in perfect health.
Lori, their mother, called me because it was grad time. And Max, because of illness, was unable to be there for the grad photographs that were done at school.
Well, I felt bad because I knew my parents would be so mad if I didn't have my little cap and my gown on.
The photograph, I'm sure, was memorable because it was capturing a certain piece of life for Max and for Jake, very important for the parents. And I really enjoyed it because both have a wonderful sense of humor, and I could tell you stories about that, but that would take too much time.
I would say that many families would benefit from C.W Hill Photography because it is a smaller photography company, but it gives a more wholesome experience to the photography session, and essentially it helps the family really get a genuine photo of what they would like.
Thank you for taking the time to share in these stories. If you'd like more information, you may get a hold of me at my website, CWHillPhoto.com.
Bill, what are you doing? I don't know if that.
Why, what's wrong? You don't like my camera?
I don't know if we should be using that one.
Why not? It's got a nice flash.
It looks outdated.
It's the guy behind the camera.
Yeah.
That just came out.
Yeah.